All right, guys, well, now that we've gotten the back tire done, I'm going to go ahead and put this aside, and we're going to start dismantling the bike. And for now, I'm going to go ahead and just leave the front end together. That way, I can kind of have something to rest the bike on. But we're going to get rid of the back axle here. And we're going to go ahead and just cut this chain off in a couple minutes. Get rid of the seat post. Get rid of that back fender. And once this back fender is off and the chain guard, we can go ahead and start figuring out how we're going to widen the back of this thing. Oop, if I don't drop that. We'll have to kind of get the back wheel on and see how wide everything's going to be, see where the possible jack shaft is going to be. So what the plan is going to be is I'm going to cut these welds that have these big arched tubes. That way I can just kind of separate them. I might leave them attached up here. There's a brace right here. I'm going to go ahead and just cut that right in the middle. And then for the chain stays, we're just going to go straight through because these chain stays are going to go just directly outwards. I still may shorten how tall the seat post tube is. With all this stuff off, I could easily cut 3 or 4 inches out. So let's get to it. And as far as the back tire goes, I'm just going to kind of eyeball this to see how much wider we're going to need. And the tire itself is about as wide as the dropouts are. And it does close up a little bit as we go towards the top here. So I'm going to go ahead and just start with maybe like 1.5 inches. With everything separated, I can kind of bolt the back wheel on and then bring it all together and start the welding. Also, if there's a little bit of weld left right here, we can always just take a flat blade screwdriver and just kind of break it. Anyways, we're going to cut this brace here in the middle now. All right, and with those cuts made, we can go ahead and take this, and everything's all spreadable now. Now I'm just going to cut the chain stays out. I'm going to go ahead and cut it right after the kickstand mount. Ta-da! All right, and with that, we should be able to kind of give this thing some widening. And we'll start bending stuff up so that it all kind of matches. But I think that's kind of what we're going to look like. And being that I need these tubes, if I spread them, they keep going out. I need it to go out some and then back in. So I'm going to go ahead and take some like 1-inch pipe here and put it between the two and kind of bend the chain and seat stays inward until we start having it bent about like this. Now what I'm going to try to do is try to mount the back wheel to it. It's going to be really floppy, so I got to be kind of careful about not letting the bike drop. But with the back wheel mounted, I can kind of start pushing all the tubes in so I get the tightest amount of clearance and make sure that we have enough room for the fender. Because in the back of my shop here, I've been kind of sorting apart some parts, and I got some fenders to choose from, and I think we're going to go for that. All right, now it's starting to take some shape here. All right, so with the back wheel pretty much centered, I can start working with these tubes here and making sure that they are wide enough to fit the tread. Maybe have like an 1/8 inch on each side, preferably a 1/4 inch, but I think we're going to have to be pretty tight here. So from here, I'm just going to kind of work with the seat stays until I like where they are. And then the chain stays are real easy. I just got to fill up that little gap in the middle. All right, so what I'm going to start with is I'm going to cut out 2 pieces of tubing the same size as the socket here. And I'm going to weld them in up here nice and even. That pretty much does the whole top. And then with the top more secure, I can really start getting rough with the bottom and curve everything inboard. Hot, 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 but here they are. Hot. Well, I was just getting ready to weld this stuff up And it looks like the regulator on my MIG welder just took a shit. Oh, I gotta bleep that out. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but let me get the microphone close to it. Oh, man. Well, at least I'm glad that I turned my tank off last night. Sometimes I leave it on by accident, but we still got plenty of pressure, so that's good. All right, I'm gonna go try to find a new regulator, and then we'll get this candle lit. Hey, Bruce. Oh, you have that problem? We spent 20. Well, I may have to get a little bit crafty. Of course, we're running into an issue right here, and same with that side. So what I think I might do is I have some old metal here from like a rototiller or something. I think we might try to kick it out that way, but I do have to leave enough clearance up here so that the tire can come out. I'm just gonna dink with that and we'll see what comes out. And that's pretty much what we're going for. I just gotta fill up the end of the tube. We got plenty of clearance. Now to do the other side. So as expected, the chain is about a good 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches off, so we're gonna build a jack shaft. All right, in order to build the jack shaft, I've got one little front hub here with some good bearings inside it. We're gonna turn these flanges down until this tube fits directly over it. And then we've got 2 of these coaster brake sprockets, which happen to fit really, really nice. And all we have to do is just weld them about like that. Hopefully a little straighter than that. But that should move the chain over and also let us use the coaster brake. Alright, so the jack shaft is where it needs to be. The chains are all in line. Now it's going to build some kind of brace. It should probably go right about there. And it'll clear the pedals. This is just a chainstay from another cruiser bike that I cut apart and gave it some bends. Well, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Yoo-hoo!